to another mind-bending episode of the Dark Side of Our Haunted Minds. I'm Adam Darkside.
And we are Haunted Minds Paranormal. My name is Daniel.
I am Dominic.
And tonight we're going to be diving into the phenomenon that nearly everyone has experienced, yet few can truly explain it. Déjà vu.
Which I can safely say I myself have experienced.
I could definitely see that. Like, it kind of hits you when you don't expect it to.
Oh yeah. It definitely catches you off guard. It's that strange, fleeting feeling that you've like been there before. You've met someone already, or like lived through an event. Basically, is how they kind of define it.
Right.
Logically, it's impossible.
Yes.
I mean that's another thing. Like if you want to go scientific, like the only thing. We won't go into scientific yet. We'll go more into what they think it is. Déjà vu is a French term meaning already seen. It refers to a moment where you feel that a present experience is uncannily familiar, as if you've lived it before. It's like your brain is rewinding a few seconds, but with you as a conscious like observer. Like it's almost like not an out of body experience, but like at that very moment when you feel it, like you have this weird feeling come over you too. It isn't just the images you see, you know what I mean? It's that feeling of like almost like your heart skips a beat, like something's like a really weird feeling, like something isn't right. Like
it almost gives you like a sense of dread, in my opinion.
It kind of does. And even when stuff that really isn't dreadful, like it isn't. So, sometimes you have a déjà vu over the dumbest things, like just I've seen this, like I've seen this before, like it isn't even anything important, but you've like seen it before, you know, and it's just so hard to wrap your head around it, and that's kind of why I like this topic, and I'll get into more why I kind of was like interested in this topic because I had a personal weird thing happen. I told them like before we started about. Like, not that many people actually know about it. Like, actually, like, only 3 people I've even told, but I don't really talk to a lot of people. But, yeah, like,
it was a very weird story.
Yeah.
It is.
I won't give anything away, but coming from both of your guys' perspectives, too.
Yeah, it was definitely a very weird moment. And I got some facts, I guess. Scientists estimate that around 60 to 70% of people have experienced déjà vu. So there's literally 30 to 40% of people haven't. I thought that was something that was like would be more higher than that. I figured everybody, like I thought everybody had that happen to them at least once.
Yeah.
But seeing that it's that their scientists estimate that number, I just feel like that number is wrong. Like
I feel like that's just a general guess.
Yeah.
Not like a said like reading. Like they did like a test on so many patients and like a certain amount of patients.
I mean, maybe
study.
Yeah, maybe somebody just didn't want to admit it because they just didn't want to like talk
about
it. Like, how would you know any different than if they told you, you know?
There's no way they would know for everybody. There's no way.
Yeah, I would like to see the poll on that. But
I do believe the number should be higher than that.
And it's one of the hardest phenomena to study too, because it's just the sole fact that you never know when it's going to happen. It's not like you can predict you're going to have déjà vu. It kind of just happens when you least expect it, when it's happening. Like, especially I have it a lot though. That's what makes me go like, wonder what the average amount is. Like sometimes I have moments where I have it once a week that I'd be like, I'm like, whoa, that was weird. Like just, I've seen that before. That's weird. Like it happens more than I think it should, honestly. And
yeah, same with me too. Like I've had weird experiences whenever it comes to déjà vu myself. Like, I won't go into too much detail, but I got home from work one day and I like could see what my girlfriend was doing before I even got home. But like it was like I was already there.
right?
It was,
Like
I
kind
was
of
like, huh?
For
that's
me,
almost like an out of body type thing.
Yeah,
Right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's what it kind of felt like whenever I got home and saw what she was doing with my own eyes. I was like,
Hmm.
how did I already guess that you were already doing said thing?
Right.
like for me, I can't remember exactly what I had, like what exactly happened. That's the thing that kind of sucks about it, but like it's happened to me multiple times.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I
Some
can't remember. But like if I really sat down long and hard, and it would probably take me a while, I would maybe remember like one time. But dude, I don't know why I just can't remember any time.
Well, see that I'll agree with you because sometimes it happens in some of the most like mundane moments, like in a moment where why would my brain like if I did see the future, if this was the future, like I somehow saw this before, why would I be wanting to see this? Like, what is this? How is this important? Like,
Yeah.
it's not. So I don't like. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense. That's why I don't think it's something that's like an ability. I don't think you can like master the ability of deja vu. I
I don't
think
know. I don't
no.
think it's been
No.
proven to be like a superpower of sorts. I would
Okay.
almost call it a
I
superpower.
mean, coming
So
from the mind, they're not going to be able to figure that out exactly.
That's
yeah.
true.
So the scientific view, I have a scientific view of what they say that deja vu could be. Most scientists see deja vu as sort of a brain glitch, an error in the way our memory functions. Some research suggests that deja vu occurs when there's a slight delay in how our brain processes information. One
Okay.
one theory called dual processing theory suggests that our brain accidentally sends information through two neural pathways at once, causing the experience to be registered twice but slightly out of sync. Like it's your brain saying, "Wait, didn't we just do this?" Other theories suggest deja vu may be linked to the way our brains consolidate memories, where information from our short-term memory accidentally leaks into our long term memory. But here's the kicker: no single scientific explanation fully accounts for the feeling. For some people, deja vu doesn't feel like a simple brain hiccup. It feels like something more, like a spiritual or paranormal experience.
Hmm.
I could see that.
Yeah, I could totally see that. It being spiritual or like a paranormal event that
Yeah.
happens to you, I could totally see that.
Yeah, like I can see you taking using that information and like maybe if you do have this like hint and think you saw it possibly, I don't know, maybe in your dream, like that's why some people say do like dream journals and stuff, to keep track of your dreams because you forget them a lot of times. You'll forget them by the first hour after waking up of even what you even dreamed about. I haven't remembered what I've dreamed about and I can't remember how long, but I don't think I get enough sleep to get quality REM type.
Yeah, I definitely don't.
The only time that I really remember my dreams, anyways, is like when like it's something impactful, and it's either
Yeah,
good or bad.
Yeah.
yeah,
There's
I
like
agree.
no in between.
Well, I used to sleepwalk. It's a funny story. I used to sleepwalk as a kid, and I used to have reoccurring dream, but I could never explain it. And I still, like, I can kind of see it in my head, but it was just so unexplainable because it was so weird and not right that there's not even words for it. But it caused me to have like night terrors and like, yeah, just it was bad babysitting me because like my babysitter the first night my mom told them that I slept walk and that just to leave me alone, that he'll go back to his bed and get in bed himself, just don't wake him up, just leave him be unless he's doing something that's going to hurt himself, but he usually doesn't. So whatever. And so she didn't take it that seriously, and I guess I came walking out of my room sleepwalking like a zombie, and she was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I just like kept walking past her, and you know one time I used to play like the Super Nintendo, right? like who didn't at my age? Like I walk up and literally sit down, flip it on, and grab the controller and look at the TV, and they're watching a TV show, but I'm sitting there like thinking I'm playing the game in my dream.
Interesting.
So yeah, it was just So I don't know, like if maybe some weird moments of your dreams you could possibly control them and maybe predict the future a little bit better if you could lucid dream.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Some dreams that you have too, like you remember them too. Like you remember like it's weird to remember. Like sometimes like things will click in your dreams that you don't remember when you didn't have that dream.
Yeah, like
because that's happened to me.
For me, like I would have this recurring like dream or nightmare, whatever you want to call it. It was baby me escaping my trailer at the time that we were living in as a kid, and I would go out in the middle of the street, stand there, and I'm looking both the ways, and then a car comes, hits me, just offs me, and then I come out in my adult self looking down at my dead self.
Oh god.
But I am dreaming about my adult self. But I can see the point of view from my baby self. It was so weird.
That is weird. Yeah.
I couldn't make anything of it, but I would have that recurring thing just like for multiple weeks. And then one day it just stopped. I was like, okay.
Isn't that weird? Like I did that same for me. I did it for years. I had the same dream where I sleptwalked for years as a kid. And then it just stopped. Like I just stopped doing it. Like
the sleepwalking has always terrified me. Like if I knew someone was sleepwalking, I wouldn't even know what to do.
I've gone outside. I was a kid and I was going outside. I'd open the back door. They had to start like locking the door, or if they saw me messing with it, they'd start following me a little bit better. Before they thought because I'd go to the bathroom, I would go take a piss and am sleepwalking and then come back and get on the game, whatever, mumble, probably stuff that's incoherent, walk. And I was on the top bunk too. I'd climb the ladder, go back to bed, all without never knowing I'm doing it.
Like I'm a sleep talker. So like I would just randomly say whatever came out of my mouth. Like, how do you explain why your body does that?
Like I've slept once or twice when I was like a little kid, but like, I mean, not that I know of. I don't think I've done it since I've been adult. If I ever do, like that, wouldn't that be crazy? Like if you just didn't know you sleepwalk and like then come to find out one day you do know.
Hey, I'm
that
sure
could
there's
happen.
apps out there. I'm sure there's phone apps that track like recordings.
Yeah,
true.
Like,
I know.
Put on like a voice recorder and just listen to it to see if you get out of your bed.
Yeah, like it's crazy though to think about because like you never know if you may. You just don't know. You don't know what to do in sleep.
I've had night terrors still as an adult sometimes where I wake up in a pool of sweat screaming. Like people who slept next to me, they've found that out. It's only happened. I think it's trauma kind of related, induced a little bit. Like if you're going through some serious shit, like it seems like that's always when that seems to happen. I start having night terrors, but that's what's so crazy about our mind and how our mind's trying to like dump that stuff out in your dreams to like try to get you to take care of it in a different way that it's affecting you and you don't even know it, so to speak, kind of.
Yeah,
it's just weird how your brain works.
Telling you, hey, there's this thing in the back of your head. I'm gonna remind you about it, and it like almost like a replay, kind of.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've lucid dreamed before where I've realized I was in a dream and took advantage of that dream before. I've done that before, which that's awesome. Like that's better than anything because if you know you're in the dream, you know you can do anything you want. So like if you want to fly, go fly. Like it's kind of crazy. Your own brain can give you like a thrill ride.
There was one time when like I had a great dream and then I woke up and it made me depressed because I was like,
yeah.
Up. And like
for sure. stuff that isn't real, but like some serious shit just went down in your dream, and it's like involved with people that you're even close to, and you wake up and you're like, God, I'm glad that was a dream, but God, that was intense. Like, geez, like you still feel like you felt all the emotions from whatever
Mhm.
you're going through when you wake up, and it's like, wow, that's heavy, and it's not even real, you know?
Yeah, it's a very weird phenomenon that happens.
For sure.
Like,
And
we're still learning about the human brain too, let alone some of the disabilities that even just common people like me and you may have.
yeah, I mean, there might be untapped potential. Definitely, our brains are.
Yeah.
Some people they. It's proven scientifically. Like some people have literally had telekinesis. Some people relate poltergeist activity to people that do have that. Have you ever heard that theory? Like why
I,
poltergeist activity happens is because like the person has the ability to move objects when like a lot of the that kind of stuff happens with teenage girls and stuff like that where they'll have poltergeist activity surrounding them because of like the stress of becoming a woman, all that stuff like puts a lot big boatload of stress and which causes them to like literally be able to move objects without knowing or realizing they're the ones who's doing it.
yeah,
Like, wow,
that's wow.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Thought about it like
They'll
that.
never be able to figure out the full human brain.
I don't think without help. I think already that the people who designed us know because like obviously they whoever it was, I know it was something messed with our DNA. That's the missing link. That's more of a probability than we evolved this way. Like that's way more of a probability that some I mean believe it or not.
How do you go from pretty much being brain dead to how we are now?
Yeah, I mean we were
Using
like
sticks and stones, then just barely surviving.
that's why one of these days and like our followers or whoever's watching let us know down in the comments, but if you
Yeah,
want
for
us to
sure.
do like a story on like the Anunnaki, like I don't know if you know you kind of know like but supposedly an ancient alien race came here like 900,000 years ago and was coming here to mine gold and they saw like us as we were still like ape type people standing on 2 feet using tools, basic tools, and was like, hey, there's workers right there. Like we can genetically modify them. They're already bipedal and they're not too stupid. We could change their DNA to be a lot smarter and do this and that. That makes more sense with the missing link than what they think because the chances of us becoming like this from that is like why isn't any other animal as smart as us? The
Yeah,
octopus, which they think is pretty much an alien.
a
Aliens dropped that thing off, no doubt.
I
I
would not
think
be surprised.
I think we're like the world. The Earth is like a test, like a big petri dish for aliens. They
The big
come and they like we have such good climate and stuff here that they can like test out their stuff here because they know that like we have everything that life thrive. So why not use it? And I do believe they have bases in our oceans we don't know about. And if they
I
didn't want
wouldn't
us
be
to know
surprised.
about it, we would know about it.
I wouldn't be surprised because
But
we only what have explored 20% is what
yeah,
it's said.
yeah, not
But
shit.
how much of that 20% is actually true?
Yeah. I mean,
Because still that extra amount that they could be hiding from the public.
well, you got UFOs and
That too.
UAPs, all that. But there's like what is it? I can't remember what it is, but it's due to it's like a unknown watercraft or some crap. But they see a lot of lights in the ocean and like stuff moving way too fast. We don't have anything that can move as fast as what's like the stuff that's moving as fast as in the sky that we see crazy shit. Basically doing that under the water in the ocean because I mean, if you think about it, if they have some sort of way to defy gravity because they couldn't pull that kind of G's, doesn't matter what kind of a creature you are. I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to do some of the maneuvers these things can do without it killing you, because of the G forces would just smash you into a pancake with some of the speeds that they're going at. So obviously they have an anti-gravity bubble around the craft. That's how they can move so quickly, because there's nothing. They're moving in like 0 G, I guess. So it's kind of weird. There's a lot of topics to dive down that rabbit hole. But the more I dive on those topics, the more stuff I find that supports that would make more sense. Like the more and more I dive, the more and more I realize that we've been lied to a lot. We continually be lied to. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
And we will always be lied to until something changes.
Where our like bodies are skeletons and we're being ate up by maggots.
Yeah, I mean, in some cultures,
our lifetime, yeah.
right? In some cultures, though, like dreams are seen as windows, like into the future or alternate like realities. I mean, some people believe that when we dream, we enter a state where we're less bound by time, able to peer into our own experiences that are even yet to come, like experiences we've already had and experiences that may be in the future. And this is where I think I'm just gonna jump in here about weird time stuff. The stuff I'll tell you guys about the story. This happened. My son was born on October 27th. That's Sunday night, and at 7:38 actually, to be precise. And when I saw him for the first time, I had deja vu that like I literally had seen him before, which is weird because usually like the first sense you're like I was excited, like don't get me wrong, like I was excited, but at first I was taken aback because like I had an instant moment of deja vu where I have been in this moment, I've seen his face. His face is familiar, not like the first time I've ever saw it. Like it was like I've seen him before, like maybe even multiple times, because like I felt like I already knew him, and I know that like you can have a bond, but couldn't know. We didn't do a 3D ultrasound. I couldn't see his exact face or anything. It was like just blotchy, like kind of looked like more like an alien, like than he looked like a baby. But the weird part, the kicker, is a little bit later in the night after stuff got taken care of, baby's doing good, whatever. We're kind of relaxing for a moment. I told Tori about it. I said, it was weird. I had deja vu as soon as I saw his face. And she kind of looked at me funny, and I'm just like, yeah, that sounds crazy. I know. And she was like, no, I had deja vu soon as he came out. And I was like, so we had deja vu at the exact same time. That's just weird, man.
Yeah, it is very weird.
That is, yeah.
And I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around what that could mean. Like, did it mean like we both have been dreaming or wanting to have a kid so badly that like when that happened, it just kind of like time dilation, or they say like feelings and memories imprint, and like so many different things that like we don't understand, that I don't think we grasp yet fully, as obviously as humans, that like we keep letting people destroy the earth, destroy each other, and we just keep sitting back and letting these people do these things. And if something doesn't change, then we'll just be like this forever. Like we will be lied to, used for money, because it's all about money and power. So
yeah, for sure.
So when are they going to start telling us the truth about things? Like I was watching a thing. If you guys want to watch, I'm a hardcore supporter of the Y Files. Like if you don't watch it, watch it. Sure. Even if you want to go to bed, watch it. Like go to bed watching it, and I guarantee you, if you get into one episode, you'll be like, "Whoa!" Like because he does a really good job explaining and telling about everything. But he also goes down some rabbit holes of stuff that the government definitely. He has like millions of followers, like subscribers. He has like over, like I think like 5 million. So it isn't like he isn't a well-known person. So he's an influencer. So the government obviously will look at somebody like that as a threat because he's literally telling millions of people about these things. So I can't imagine what kind of threats and stuff he gets. But he's been
I'm sure they're coming in by the hundreds by the day.
Oh yeah,
he's been demonetized a few times just
I'm
because
surprised.
like when he talked about Agent Orange, he got demonetized by the government because they don't like people talking bad about that whole scenario. That's a whole rabbit hole in itself. But like he was very passionate about it because his father-in-law literally suffered from the effects of Agent Orange, and that was in the Vietnam War, and nobody saw any money from those bad things happening to them by their own government until 2021.
Yeah, until just recently. Yeah.
You know how many vets are already dead in the ground that suffered from all that? They didn't get nothing for it.
There's more so gone than there is alive.
Like, it's so crazy that it took that long, and the government still won't fess up that it's their fault, even though it's all right there showing that it is their fault. They just won't take
Pretty
it.
messed up.
They just won't take
Pretty
it.
messed up.
They won't man up, and that's just how they are. And I think stuff like, I know we're kind of getting off topic of deja vu, but like I think they know a lot more than what they're telling us when it comes to time as relative. I mean, Einstein said itself, relative, and obviously they have to know something more than what they're telling us.
For sure.
I
And like
mean,
I know like I'm not sure if you watch any superhero movies, but I know there's like a big one out there that just recently came out. Have you ever watched the Doctor Strange Multiverse in the Madness?
You got Batman.
Yes.
mhm. Oh,
There, in that movie, Doctor Strange experiences a dreamlike state that he's in a different body, and that body ends up getting in like the first 5 minutes of the movie, and he wakes up from this dream. But then the same chick that was in his dream appears in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And then then she explains what happened to him, and well, I won't spoil the whole movie, but I do recommend watching it.
Oh yeah, I love all those movies.
Put into perspective, like in our own world, for instance, like is there multiple realities, and that's what we're experiencing whenever deja vu happens?
Exactly. Maybe it's the two realities coming together, and like maybe there's just a little bit of time difference, but you kind of share each other's memories somehow because you're going through similar things. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
like-
gets crazy. Like string theory, you can start getting into all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, because think about how many galaxies, well, not even the galaxy, but the universes.
It's so big that we can't comprehend the fact that if
We can't even explore it all.
Like, there could be one of us out there on a similar Earth doing similar things at the same time, because there's trillions of these galaxies and it's infinite, more than what we can even count ever. So like definitely it's possible, because if anything can happen, it's bound to happen. So yeah, so it's hard saying. It might be something like that. Maybe we all share this link to all of our different people.
It was just like crazy. Like you feel these experiences whenever you're in deja vu, and like you feel everything whenever it comes to them. So it's like, how have I already felt this way or seen this thing for it to be happening to me? And that's what science cannot prove at the moment.
Exactly.
It probably won't ever get proven in our lifetime. We never know.
I mean, maybe people do have the answer for it. We just maybe one of these is the answer. There's no way to scientifically test that theory.
Yeah. And that's what
for sure
is the scientific part of it.
Yeah.
Or they're hiding stuff that they're not telling us.
Well, they're doing that for sure.
Well,
They
they
know.
still are,
Most likely.
more to it than what they should.
Yeah, I mean, well, think about it. We're still running around in gas vehicles, and there's one podcast I recommend people watching because he goes over basically all these people that got whacked by the government that had these, next gen ideas for 0 point energy, stuff that like they've known about since the 40s. Wonder why they know about it. The 0 point energy device is basically, it's real and it's been tested and used. And so anytime something like that happens, the government has the power that if you design something that's so like kick ass, but the government goes, oh, that could make us lose a lot of money. Like if you got something that changes that they won't have gas automobiles anymore, no one will have to buy gas ever again. Think of all the billions of dollars that the from the oil companies and people that don't want to lose money to some guy that made some invention that changes the world. But it changed the world for the better, but it just shows that it's all about money and power. And the government has the power to literally stamp as a secret patent because you have to file for the patent office, if you have a design of something that you're going to like produce or whatever, you got to get a patent on it. Well, the patent office sees everything that comes in. So if they're like, oh, look at this device is going to make us lose money, blah, blah, blah. So they first usually threaten or discredit the person as hardcore as they can and make them look really bad or make their, just go at them every level. Like, oh, unpaid taxes, your taxes were done wrong this time, blah, 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 10 years ago. They literally have done all those things. And then if you still are adamant about, talking about your device and going out there, then you end up done.
Yeah.
And most of them, almost all of them end up done by weird circumstances always surrounding them. And it's like, wow. And he did this over and over again for like 5 or 6 different guys. And I'm just like, wow. And he said, that's just the tip of the iceberg. And like this 0 point device where literally it could power it can power all kinds, a whole room, and not use up any energy.
Tesla, they silenced him pretty quick.
Yeah, that he takes that, and it's like Tesla. It's based a lot like Tesla. Tesla was ahead of his time, big time. He was literally like, we're gonna take our own atmosphere and magnetic, because we have our magnetic sphere and everything. So we're going to use the particles in our own air and just take the energy right out of the air without, and he did it. You can literally harness that and turn that into energy. And that doesn't take up fossil fuels. It does nothing to the environment. It's clean. I mean, yeah, you would have to do a grid across the whole entire United States, but I'm sure there's a way to wire it up. It's just the government loses money that way. You can't give free energy to everybody.
Oh yeah, they're definitely money hungry,
and that's what has to change. It's the only way that us as the people can take back what's ours to begin with. It's not just a couple of men in suits that get to decide what direction humanity goes, because they're not thinking about what's best for humanity. They're thinking about what's best for their wallet, and like they don't have enough. That's what I don't understand. Like, you have billions of dollars, just check out and go do whatever. You shouldn't be involved with politics, shouldn't be involved with any of it, because that's bias. You're being biased. We need less people that are like that.
Yes, for sure.
In our government.
For sure.
They're all like that though, so
yeah, most of them.
Like, everyone that's in a higher power has always been shady. Like, I can name like probably hundreds of people off the top of my head if I could like say them all out loud in like a certain time frame, but like there's so many people out there that are just shady.
Like, as negative as it sounds, it's just the truth. Like, it sucks to say, but
it does. Like, I try to be optimistic. Like, I hope, because I know that something's got to give. Like, if anybody else, I just like feel like something big is in our future. Like, something big is about to happen at some point. I just have that feeling in my gut. and I've had it for a while now. Like it's like the calm before the oh shit. Like it's either gonna be something really, really crazy bad, or it's gonna be something crazy good, but start off crazy weird. Like I think before it becomes Armageddon, I think aliens, because I do believe they exist, and there's enough evidence that they exist that I have a feeling because they already can shut down nukes if they've proven that they can do that
For sure.
over and over again at military bases, just kind of like giving them the hint. You guys need to like not worry about blowing each other up and destroying the whole earth just because you guys don't get along with some topic. Like, hey, let's not do that. Think about that for a second. You guys are going to destroy the earth because y'all don't get along. Like, what did mama tell everybody? If you ain't got nothing nice to say, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, just stop.
Yep. And that's how, even like in our modern age for existence, since Trump, got elected, pretty much everyone's been just on a hateful train, and it's just like, why?
Yeah, it shows all that hate. We don't need all that hate running our country.
Yeah, no.
But it's not even just the fact that Trump won. Both sides of the story are like that.
Oh yeah, both sides of the aisle definitely have a lot of issues.
And it's just like, why?
And it's like, just live your life day by day. Like, don't stress about politics. Like, you're still going to do this and that. Like, yeah, life may be hard from here and there, but like, don't focus on politics, because I feel like politics is a big issue on the world. And
I mean,
why
it is. I mean, I know we don't really have complete control over it, but bottom line, we're supposed to. And that's what I try to, that's why I have a hard time getting over it, because it pisses me off. It makes me angry. It makes me angry to see these overpaid old bastards running a country that they have no freaking clue about what it's like to live in the real freaking world, while they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to maybe come into a place and vote every now and then on stuff for the people, but they're really voting for whoever lines their pockets, not really what the people want. Those people need to go bye-bye. Those people need to be taken out and said bye-bye. Term limits. Senators need term limits. Period.
Everyone that is in a higher power in the government needs term limits.
Exactly. If the president of the United States has term limits, so should everybody else. So should the Senate, the House, representatives, all of it. House of Representatives, Senate, judicial, all of it. Nobody should be sitting on anywhere for more than 8 years. And I even think that's pushing it. I think 8 years is almost too long, because like that's asking a lot of somebody to be nothing but for the people and be selfless for 8 years. Like, do 4 years and make sure that those 4 years are the best 4 years that you could possibly do, and then get out and let the next person come in and try to make it better. We're trying to make it better, not try to make as much money as you can, because that's what they're doing. Career politicians. There should not be such thing. Nope.
Like, I know the U.S. is in debt and all, but like, we're still making it, even though we are in debt by other countries.
Yeah.
We don't have to like pay it back like right away. Like, yeah, I know some places would want like a big chunk of cash like right away, but like that cash is coming from us.
I don't think people realize, but like, I know people bring up China, and a lot of people are like, oh, China's not doing anything wrong. China is doing a lot wrong. Actually, a lot of those immigrants that were coming over the borders, a lot of them were Chinese too. And not just that, they're buying up property everywhere across the country, especially around military bases. Make that make sense to me, man. The military, you would think they wouldn't allow the enemy to buy up farmland around their bases, but they do. Make that make sense to me for a second.
Yeah, I could not even explain that.
Why would we even sell property to them if we know that they're against us? Like, it
makes literally no sense.
No, because it's all bullshit. That's the part that kills me, is because there's so many people that are getting their pockets lined because you're talking, they have an infinite, these deep state, these dark people that pull the strings behind, they have all the money that you could possibly think of,
For
and
sure.
they buy everyone. Everybody eventually has a price. I mean, if you have a family to feed, like, I wouldn't really blame you, but at the same time, I'm gonna blame you because you shouldn't take that seat and be able to be bought. Like, there shouldn't even be lobbyists at all. Shouldn't even be allowed at all.
Yeah. And like I've seen it multiple times, and like this is a good subject too. But like it's like still in slavery, but like now it's everybody. Not
Yeah,
just like, the lower class over in other countries getting tortured. We're getting tortured in other ways.
yeah. I mean, it's mentally. They're tearing us down mentally, and they're putting us against each other, and it's working. I mean, look around. It's nothing
Oh,
but hate. If you're a Trumper, you know, then you're catching a lot of hate right now. But like, the popular vote was red this time. So regardless if you're pissed off or not, he won the popular vote. He won all that. So, and here's another thing to keep in mind that people forget about is when Biden beat Trump in 2020, and why Trump was so like, why the hell, how did he possibly beat me? If you look at the numbers of people who voted for Biden has 20 million more votes than even Obama got.
oh
Like,
yeah.
and Biden wasn't as popular as Obama. So how did he manage to pull out 20 on average, and all the Democratic presidents from the last 20 years? He's beat them all by 20 million. Like,
Oh
that doesn't even make sense. Like, there shouldn't even be that many.
yeah.
He's like not even there.
And like now people are saying that even Trump cheated. And like to
I
a
don't
certain
believe that.
I can kind of see it, but also at the same time I can't.
How? More people, the way I look at it is,
Because, like, he could have been salty from the last election.
I mean, I get that, but like, Biden has been controlling everything from, like, I don't know Biden controlling anything. He can't even control how he walks or talks or where he's at or what he's doing, or I don't know.
Where he's even looking at.
Why wasn't he impeached sooner when we all knew that? Even the news agencies admitted that, like, even after the debate, like, the man couldn't even speak. He has no right to be our president if he can't even form sentences to argue with another human being. Then how is this man controlling our government? Like, he can't even form sentences.
For sure. Like
I'm not red or blue. I'm what makes sense or who's the best fit. But the blue side ain't showing me no fit. Kamala Harris, like, I'm not being sexist at all, but you want to see how many arms she had her arms around during, like, you saw the videos. Somebody had to see the clips. They were everywhere. Like the one where she asked, "Are you his daughter?" And she's like, "No," like laughing because she's literally wrapped around a guy twice her age at a party, like in the 90s, like, because like before she was
it also
anybody.
doesn't help that like in one of her interviews that she was doing for her campaign, they asked her what she would do with inflation, and she didn't know the answer to it.
She don't even know what inflation is. She would
She
make up some story.
Yeah, she
like,
vaguely explained it, and then
it didn't
just
make sense.
no.
No, I didn't.
Like, I watched some TikTok, like a little snippet of it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
You
and
know
that's what,
nothing about what inflation actually is.
she literally had a chance to distance herself from Biden a couple times. She had a
Oh,
chance on The View. They even asked her, "Would you have done everything the same as what Biden did?" And she literally, instead of separating herself from why everybody despises the last 4 years, and if you like the last 4 years, you were high, because there was nothing good about the last 4 years. Since 2020, nothing good has happened since then.
oh yeah.
Everything's doubled in 4 years. It's nuts. Like, and no one can say it ain't. Like, literally, you can't say that how they've been running the country is good, because there's nothing being run.
Yeah.
The president doesn't even take literally press conferences. He can't. They won't even let him do press conferences.
For
So
sure.
that's dictatorship. You don't even have to answer for any of your decisions to the American people, and you're going to sit there and act like they're the fascists. No, I'm sorry. I'm only seeing fascists right now. You're trying
Yeah.
to separate us by literally, you're trying to divide our country more than you ever have.
I think both sides are like fascist. Like I could totally see it.
I can see it. Yeah, because both sides is bullshit. There shouldn't
Yep.
be sides.
Yes. It should just be one person.
Or just what's good for our country.
Yeah,
What's
just
best for America, I was gonna
what's
say, yeah.
best. Not just because, oh yeah, I
And
like
these-
this color more than this
Exactly.
color.
When they started parties, that was the biggest problem right there. You started dividing. They even say in like united we stand, divided we fall. Like that's literally
Mhm.
one of our like slogans, man. And here we are dividing everybody up because that's what the people at the top, the ones that pull the strings, the one that's been pulling Biden along for the strings, and they've been in the shadows for a long time. We covered this in a couple episodes back when we talked a little bit about the deep state. We'll talk a whole bunch more about them because I want to live. I just had a baby boy, and
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a smart idea.
yeah,
I wanted to bring it back to the topic, and
Yeah.
like, as soon as you said Obama's name, I I just randomly remembered this, but as a kid, whenever he first got elected, I had deja vu about him getting elected.
That's weird.
Like I remember seeing him on the stage, but as I'm walking, like looking at the TV, watching it in class, I see it from my own eyes, and I'm like, how come I already have seen this?
The first time he got elected?
Yeah, no, yeah, the first time.
That's
That's
The
weird.
very first time. Whenever like everybody was against him, I was like watching it, I was like, how am I
I knew he
remember-
was gonna win. He was a smooth talker. He was a smooth talker. If you can get up on stage and you can make everybody like you, even if you hate him, and you can still make people like you. Like if you didn't notice, I don't think a lot of people notice this, but like you would think that Bush and like Clinton, like they're both one's a Democrat, one's but they're all like friends, which makes it even scarier because you'll see them at like events, like when George Bush was sitting by the Obamas and stuff, and I guess they're actually good friends, and
Oh, yeah.
they're both linked to what's it called, that one place where they all get together?
Bohemian Grove.
Yes, Obama's even linked to that too.
Yep.
So it just shows you right there that like, yeah, they might show they hate each other. They might even stand up on stage and literally diss you for a half hour because you want
Also,
somebody
the
else to win.
They're in the entertainment. That's all that they're doing is putting on a show for the American
That's right.
people to watch live.
That's
And,
right.
like, they all have different personalities too, and like I know that we're human and each human has their own personality,
Hmm.
but they're actively displaying it on
Yeah.
stage in front of thousands of people,
Hmm.
just like a comedian.
Yep.
And sometimes they would say something and we're gonna laugh at it.
Yep. It's a public figure.
what we
I
do.
mean, that's exactly right. And that's why I think people hate Trump so much, is because he doesn't fit the mold for a politician. And
Oh, yeah.
because he's not a politician, he shouldn't be running. But to me, I mean, we need more people that are themselves and aren't trying to be some facade of a politician telling, kissing babies and whatever, signing boobies, whatever. Like, I'm telling you, like,
Yeah,
that's what's wrong with our country is there's so much corruption that it goes deeper than what people even realize it goes. Like everyone, you could ask anyone off the street, you could pull anybody off the street right now in any city, any state, and say, do you think the government's corrupt? And they would say yes. Wouldn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican, independent, doesn't matter what it is. But yet, what do we do about it?
We do nothing.
We
just
sit
sit here
here. They're only one or two, people, whatever.
Yeah.
We're millions. So, like, if we want something,
We could overthrow them easily, and I don't
Yeah.
know why we don't.
I'm not condoning that. I'm
No,
not saying
I'm
that's
not
going to happen.
condoning that, but like,
But
just bear with us. Like,
but it
why?
could. But it could happen.
It really could, yeah.
I just think that something has to be done.
For sure.
Will it be done though? We'll never know.
I mean,
Probably
the problem is it might be done and people might not agree with the way it gets done. And if somebody does decide to do it, like basically fire a whole bunch of people, but you might not have the power to fire these people. You see what I'm saying? That's why you need more people on board. And that's hard to do when, like, literally probably 3/4 of them are corrupt in some way, shape, or form.
That's what's fucked. The whole world is corrupt and fucked.
Yeah.
It's just-
Exactly. And that's why aliens need to come down and tell everybody to chill the fuck out. That, hey,
Spawn aliens,
like,
spawn.
imagine if aliens showed up at the White House or on everybody's television set and was
Oh my
like, "You are not alone."
That
that
would
would go national.
I
not
would
just,
trust that over any president, to be honest.
And
Yeah,
they
true.
started like dogging on us, like, you guys fight, murder, kill each other. Why?
It fucking suck.
You guys have enough food to feed the planet 5 times over, but you throw it in the dumpster. Why? You do this, you do that. You have natural resources that you don't have to use up. There's inventions already created that you could literally change the whole world and make the planet fully green without these cars, these electric cars is bullshit. It is not helping anything.
They all look the same. They're ugly. They're
not helping anything. They use the electricity. Where's the electricity come from?
It has
Coal.
to come from somewhere.
Coal.
Fossil fuel.
Coal and natural gas powers most of all of the electrical board across the United States of America. So if you're plugging your car in and getting electricity, you're not green. For one, the cobalt that they dig up and have slave labor digging this stuff up for you to have your fancy electric car, like, these mines are destroying the environment worse than drilling oil, and you guys are promoting it like it's green and great. And like California even said, what they say, that everybody has to go electric by like 2035 or something. They don't have a electrical grid strong enough to even do that, for one. So that's never going to happen. And for two, so you want that, how much more destruction? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, people actually believe this shit is actually green. And just like solar panels literally only last like 15 to 20 years max. And when they're done, you know where they go? They're toxic. You put them in the landfill, and then it secretes toxicity into the landfill. So there's that. So that's not green at all, because it has to be green from the beginning to end, not like only at one point for a little bit. That ain't green. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people think that these I got solar panels on my house, I'm doing something great. Oh, you're gonna have to replace those in 10 years. They're gonna go in the dump and create toxic fucking sludge.
You might be doing something great now, but in the long term, you're really not.
Well, that's the thing. People
don't think about the long term. They
exactly the short
now.
term. They believe what the media tells them. They believe what the government tells them, and then they just do as they're told. And those are the people that are pissed off. I think the country stood up for a change and went, "We're done with this. Like, we're done. We can't do another 4 years of this. Something's got to give." And Harris, you're literally admitting on The View that you wouldn't have changed anything. And in fact, you were part of all the decision making and bragged about it like it was a good thing. And it's like, no, you're that dumb, for one, that they gave you a shot. They literally gave you an opportunity to distance yourself from the Biden crap, and you didn't. You didn't take the bait. Like, you literally watched. You're not obviously not smart enough to realize that they don't deserve to be president anyhow. Like, I'm sorry, but it's stupid shit. Like, I'm not saying Trump's much better, but shit, anything's better than what we've been dealing with for the last 4 years.
That's what I've been telling people too, and like that goes even with the media. Even like
Yeah.
there's like so many media like outlets that they're either one side or the other. They're not like biased. They're not neutral. They don't like
They're
say,
biased as
"Hey,
hell.
we agree on this thing," but then this person said this, and
Yeah.
then
The news used to be unbiased. Like, they would just say the news, what the news was, and they didn't lean one way or the other. That's real reporting. Now it's not like that. It doesn't work that way. If you're ABC, CNN, like, and do you realize that they're not even getting that many viewership anymore? Like, because they basically
Well, here on NBC, I mean,
million.
pretty much
Dude,
Peacock, the main thing now.
YouTube is getting more views. Like, the Joe Rogan podcast, like, literally had, I remember looking at it the other day, and it had over 15 million views in the first hour of it being released. That was just the first hour. Like, that's insane. That's like quadruple, like way more than what CNN gets on just a normal night. Like, they don't ever get those numbers. So, like, it just shows you that more people are starting to shy away, and they're getting woken up. They're seeing the news for what it really is, and seeing that the regular news outlets are feeding a bunch of garbage into your head, and you're believing it. And
I can see a bunch of false information being spread.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, the Biden administration literally tried to everybody's like, oh, Trump's a fascist. Do you realize all the different things that they did in 4 years to take away your freedoms in just 4 years, more than any other president ever has? And Trump's been president once, if people forget about that, and he didn't do what Biden did to us. Biden took all of our freedom away from us.
The only thing that kind of made him was the fact of how, like, oh, you're going to get raises at your jobs, but come to realize that everything's going to go up. So it's basically the same thing that you already had, but worse.
Yeah, because you don't see, that's the problem is the cost of everything doubled, but our salaries didn't double. So the American consumer has to pick up the slack because we don't have a choice. We have to buy these products to live. And they know this, and they price gouged the hell out of us for the last 4 years, and nothing's been done about it. Nothing has been done about it. Why not?
Hopefully that changes, but
I have a feeling it will.
We can only hope at this point that something really changes. But
well, I have a feeling that's going to change. Well, the gas price at least will go down. They'll save people money, at least something.
That I am happy about, but also food too.
Yeah, that's insane, man. You shouldn't be able to go to the grocery store, walk out with 2 bags, and it costs you $100. Like, what?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Even just for 2 people, you can spend easily up to like $300 just on basic food.
It's like a paycheck a month goes to food just for a small family. I couldn't imagine feeding like 6 kids.
I could not.
Like, I just don't like. I don't understand how people can't be outraged and then think that anybody wants 4 years of what we just had. Like, if there's any other option, and that's the only other option we had was Trump. It's like, you guys aren't giving us much to choose from. You're not giving us much. Yeah, I knew he was going to win because I was pretty positive it was going to turn out the way it did. And
as soon as he started running, I was like, it's all over.
When he got up after being shot and was screaming fight, he pumped up the whole American public.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had people like CNN going, well, I don't know if we actually got shot. Like, they literally were doing everything they could to not admit that there was an assassination attempt on the president. And the fact that the FBI and the Secret Service didn't even have to answer to the big hole in the gap of security. And the guy that, if you watched the senators and stuff questioning this man, if you didn't know that this guy is against everything you are as an American, just watch him get questioned and see how he answers these questions that know damn well that the Secret Service, the people who have the best intel there possibly could be, can't go up there and say, oh, Not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't recall.
Even before the head of the Secret Service, the lady, I forget what her name
Yeah.
is,
I don't
but
know. She's a
she
dumb bitch.
did some interview and they asked her, why was there a big hole in the security? And she would always dodge that question.
Yep. They were dodging every question.
She
And-
wouldn't answer it, or she would give like a vague answer. Oh, someone got sick or whatever. Like
It was
he,
always bullshit. They
like,
didn't even. It was a setup. It's obvious. Like I'm gonna go conspiracy theory, but it's pretty obvious who was trying to take out political opposition because they've been doing it for the last 4 years, and it still didn't stop him from running. And he kept running, and then all of a sudden he's being shot at, and then they miss by an inch, and just pumps everybody up even more that they just tried to kill this guy for him just running for president. They're so intimidated by this man that they are literally putting a hit out on him. Tells the American people that obviously he's doing something right because they want to take him out because they don't want to be exposed. And
sure.
Trump has talked about the deep state before. He's literally done speeches and literally brought them up. So it's interesting to see how it goes from here. I don't believe the craziness is over yet. I believe it just begun. I think, I don't know. I think some crazy stuff will probably
There's
happen.
going to be a lot of things in this term that's going to come to light.
I think
And-
a lot of people are going to be pissed off about some of the stuff that happens just because
Yes.
if 4 years of letting our border wide open to over 13 documented illegal immigrants, I'm going to call them illegal immigrants because that's what they are. They came in illegally and literally Biden was flying them in. Like, make that make sense to me.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? They were trying to get them to vote, or if not, they will vote in the next election. That's what they're trying for. So basically, Trump needs to have a mass deportation. That's like the only other way that this works is send them back, send them wherever.
As much as I hate to say it,
I do too. I don't like it, but
it's something has to be done. And if you're watching this from anywhere, and if you are in that said category, we feel
I'm sorry.
We do.
I'm sure there's some of you came here to have a better life, but you can't tell me in 13 million and a lot of gotaways, like you're talking probably upwards, probably more like 20 million people came into our border. But that's more than the state that we live in. Put that into perspective for a second.
yeah.
So is that going to change a vote? The blue Democrats let this border open and basically say, we'll let you in, vote for us. Vote for us. So now you have 20 million more people voting for your side because you did something illegally for them to get here. Tell me how that's okay at all.
Yeah.
That's treason.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, and with the increase in population, that also will increase prices too because
Who pays for it?
Higher demand for even basic needs.
Who pays for it?
Yeah.
The taxpayer pays for a whole bunch of people.
While all the illegals just get off scot-free.
Why do we have kids sleeping on the streets? Why are parents with kids sleeping on the streets? Yeah, like why are they even on the street? Like why in America is there even one homeless person? It doesn't make sense. We send all these billions of dollars across the seas to people that never will pay it back just to keep the military industrial complex going. But you don't care about anybody in your own country. $750 to you hurricane victims. Here you go. Oh, by the way, when Dixie blew away and Walmart's not there no more, 7-Eleven's gone. Where are you going to spend that $750? Oh, hey, bye, later. We were looking out for you guys. Really, really doing you big favors there. Can't even spend your damn money. There's nowhere to buy anything.
Exactly. You'd have to drive use that $750 just to get to a normal place in Florida.
Yeah.
I have like family down there whenever those hurricanes happen, and like they're struggling at the moment. And that's just one person that I know personally. There's hundreds.
Did you hear? Did you literally hear what they were even saying? Like, instead of government help, they were like saying, "You guys dig into your pockets and give." No, stop giving Ukraine billions. And how about you worry about your own people? No, too worried about that. Where's Biden at? Is he awake? Has he wake up from his morning nap? Does he even know what a hurricane is? Like, come on, man. Like, I don't think he would. I think he'd be like, hurricane, what's that? I think I drank one of those one time.
Exactly.
My diaper needs changed.
There's been like so many instances where I wish I could change something, but us normal citizens, yeah, we can talk about it. Yeah, we can bitch, moan, groan,
I voted.
Fucking wipe our ass with our own hand if we wanted to.
I voted.
But at the end of the day,
I
the
can bitch all I want.
Always gonna.
There's nothing we can do. We just gotta live the life that we live.
Exactly. We're just put here. We're all human. I don't understand why we have to fight in the first place.
Yeah, like I don't get it.
Like, why do we like? I get to a certain extent of needing like a visa or whatever, but like, if you can prove that, like, not even just to prove to be a citizen of a place, just some sort of documentation saying, hey, I came from this place, but I want to go here, and give proof on why it would be a good fit for you to move countries.
Yeah.
Not just, hey, I found this job over here. I need a work visa. They take weeks, even years to get approved. And once it is approved, you don't know if that person is still alive or not.
Yeah.
Because you never know what they could be going through in life. Like,
yeah, it's frustrating because it's just like so many people are so worried about what other people voted for that they forget what the point of it was to begin with. They're more worried about their team winning, but their team didn't have any answers of how to fix what's wrong with our country. She wasn't taking interviews. He wasn't either. It's like they were running by letting everybody else campaign for them, and they didn't even have to talk. It was like they barely said anything.
For sure.
And I think that was part of their...
That even goes like in other topics, not just the government itself. Like, I can think back to multiple times in the music industry, for example, where there's feuds of two parties not agreeing with each other, and they are just dishing it out. And it's just like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
What do you guys? What do you have to prove?
Like, you have so much money already. Why are you having beef with somebody else that, or anything else for that matter, just not somebody, but like even just a company? Like, why do you have beef with these people? They did nothing to you in the first place.
I guess I'm just tired of the hatred. The hatred is just so... There's so much more hatred now than there was 20 years ago. Like, I feel bad. Like, I feel bad for my son. Like, what kind of world is he going to grow up in when you have to tiptoe through the fucking tulips just to speak because you're afraid you might hurt someone's fucking feelings? Like,
hey, I know that Tiny Tim reference.
I do.
Like,
and unfortunately, he passed to that song too.
Yes.
Which kind of sucks.
Like, it's just, dude, freedom of speech is freedom of speech. Freedom to offend is also there. You're allowed to offend people.
Like, speak your mind.
Yeah, I'm tired of people acting like you're not allowed to say this. You're not allowed to say that. Fuck you.
Yeah.
How about that?
Fuck you.
For
like,
sure.
say whatever the fuck you want to. Like,
I don't tell you what to say. You don't get to tell me what to say. Period.
Yeah,
End of story.
Freedom of speech, like we can say what we want. Like
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
It's
what
not-
freedom of speech is.
not harmful. Like we're just
And it's not
saying
hate
it.
speech.
Ordinary guys
regardless.
just talking about topics that like interest us,
And
and
it's not-
I can guarantee you that one day we're gonna get a certain email from, from somebody that's more empowered than like us,
And we'll just go to X.
Sure.
We'll just go to X.
yeah.
yeah.
But I'm just saying,
where
like, there's
freedom of
gonna be
speech.
somebody one day that's gonna censor us or
Yeah.
try.
Well, they've already tried to. The Biden administration did that. A lot of people don't know that because, well, they don't talk about it. The media is the who. Like, if it was Trump who did it, it would have been all over front page of everything and everybody. But because it was a deep state backed president and all that, that they got away with so much, and no one had to like even talk or even get up in front of anybody and explain to them why they made the choices they made. They just did whatever they wanted. And
See, one thing I will appreciate is that there are reports saying that Harris and Biden both, immediately after the votes came in and they were all tallied up, they both gave him a call, and Biden himself even like did an interview or something. He invited Trump to the White House to hang out to congratulate him.
that's what I'm saying.
Like, why is there so much hate?
That's what I'm trying to tell
even with
people.
the campaigns, why are you talking trash about the individual instead of explaining, hey, this is why you should make me president. I'm going to do this thing. You should consider me as a higher power, not just, hey, I'm going to talk trash about this person. This person's going to get scared and mess up and whatever else. And it's just like, why?
Well, we both know that Biden probably didn't realize it was Trump. He probably thought he was talking to.
I'm not saying like, I'm just saying in like a generality.
Yeah, I know.
But like,
I probably handed him the phone and said, "What's this?"
What's this? You know what's fucked up? I've been doing that too.
Oh, turns it upside down.
Like I feel
Hello?
bad for the guy because everyone
They
makes
drug him through
fun
the
of
dirt. The
but, like,
Democrats literally
they-
were like, "Come on, Joe, you can do it. You're in your 80s. You're losing your shit, but you can you do it for 4 more years?"
You're our last
The
hope
crazy
until we
part
can
though is
find
that
someone.
before Trump is up or whatever, he's gonna be in his 80s. He's like,
Well,
yeah.
but at least he knows what the hell is going on. I mean, shit. There's a different kind of 80s going on there. You got like
Trump
Biden
even
should be in a
said
nursing
that,
home.
Lost.
He
Trump
should.
even said that if he lost, he wasn't going to run again because by
No.
that time that he would be able to run again, he would be 80, like 4 years old is what
Yeah.
somewhat like they
Like-
calculated.
Like, how old is even Biden? Because he aged so much in the White House. I don't know if anybody else noticed it. He was already old, right? But
No.
dude, like the White House ages you. They even admit it. Like everyone admits it. Like everybody goes in with like dark hair, comes out white.
Mhm.
Like look at Obama. He came in with a full head of black hair, came out pretty much gray. Same with every one of them. Like in a matter of 4
speaking of
years, they're gray hair.
He is 81 years old right now. Biden is. I just looked it up.
Dude, he looks like he's like 96.
Yeah, I
They should
swear
not
to
allow a
God.
president to be 81 years old.
November
You would think
20th,
they would know how he.
1942. This is before the war even ended.
You
Dude.
would think they'd be like, hey, let's not go ahead and do him.
Exactly.
Well, I don't think Biden wanted to run again. I think he just wanted, he didn't think, they were hoping they could get Trump out of the picture before, if Trump wasn't running, I think Biden would have said, I did my time and walked away.
Apparently, Trump is no better in age, though. I just look it up on Google just for a comparison, so nobody can say shit.
Exactly. Age is just a number, though. Like,
He was 78, but already looks better than Biden.
well, you remember what they found in the White House? Remember that the biggest,
Oh,
most
Yes.
the most freaking cameras ever, probably the best surveillance ever made.
Yes.
We don't know whose it is. Fuck if you don't.
What do you mean you don't know who it is? That's
That's what I'm saying. The Secret Service has been shady from the beginning. You can tell that they're like somebody's puppet. They were leaving holes wide open. Like, come on, man. Like,
Oh yeah.
It's too shady.
It doesn't make any sort of sense.
It doesn't. Like, you can ask anybody, and they'll still tell you, like, why would the Secret Service leave a building that close wide open?
Exactly.
Like, wide open. Nobody's covering it whatsoever. Secret Service make that stupid mistake. Also, how does the Secret Service not get their drone working, but the dude there that literally shot at Trump had a drone out there flying it around?
Yep.
But the Secret Service's drone didn't work? Come on.
Well, like, how does that make sense? Like, I get malfunctions and stuff like that, but that's way too weird of a coincidence that one worked and one didn't.
Well, too many coincidences isn't a coincidence.
Exactly.
That's not a coincidence. And whenever you're not talking to like people on the ground, like the cops and stuff, the cops were literally telling them that dude was there, but they had no line of communication with the Secret Service.
For sure.
That alone right there, not like having a meeting beforehand to do it's like so many different errors were made that it can have been an error, if you catch my drift. There's no way it was an error.
And that kind of also ties back to Déjà Vu, though. Like, it could be like an error on someone else's part, and we're just wondering on what happened in that moment.
Exactly. And put it on the rabbit hole of multiple dimensions. What if Trump wouldn't have turned his head?
It's all a cycle.
So there's two different branches right there. What if Trump didn't turn his head, and he'd be, gone, then it would be a whole like there's a whole nother branch of a dimension there. That's like a path that splits. So it's crazy. I mean, we didn't really get very far into figuring out what deja vu is because, well, this is kind of a topic where nobody's right and nobody's wrong. So it could be a lot of things. But I still think it's really weird. And the reason why I really want to talk about this topic is I just find it fascinating of all the different things it could possibly be. But I still don't understand how I could have possibly have seen my son's face beforehand, unless I dreamt it.
Like, there's no other way to actually confirm that you did or didn't. But, like, how do you explain my experience? How would you explain his experience?
Exactly.
Unless our mind conjured up, I guess, that image in our head as we're seeing it, and we're imagining it, putting it together in our head, and then it happens.
Yeah, like our memories already are telling us.
For sidekicks. For sidekicks, like, how do you like?
It's untapped potential. Maybe we have up here. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we have way more ability. They talk about like Hindus reaching like nirvana and like meditation and all the things that meditation can actually do. Like, it's pretty crazy. Mind over matter is a real thing. Like, you could literally, you can't think something into existence, but I do believe some people might have the power to somehow control of what happens or see what happens before it happens. There's been a lot of proof that people can. It's hard to predict the future. So if you nail it, like, you obviously might have saw it.
Like, how would you explain, like, not so like controversial, but like, think of Mother Teresa, for example. Think of the theories that she's came up with. How would she have came up with these theories on what's going to happen inside the world, and then it happens?
Yeah.
Like, for example, the World Trade Center. She predicted that. How do you explain that?
Well, Nostradamus predicted that stuff.
9/11. The fact that it's on 9/11.
Like, how are so many famous people, not even just
hundreds of years ago? Nostradamus was from the 1600s. He predicted this stuff all the way 300 years later. His stuff came true. So that's nuts just to think about there. Like, obviously, people have abilities.
It's not even just in modern history that, like, we find like an ancient text and it's talking about like stuff that's happening in the real world. Like, how would they predict some of the stuff that happens in the Bible? Like, you can't explain that.
Yeah, and a lot of times
seen it or told about it and something happens.
Yeah, and then there's like books missing. There's books missing from the Bible, like the book of Enoch, that literally describes the crafts that we see, like, you know, how the flying saucer.
Yeah.
Literally in the book of Enoch, he describes one.
Yep.
From that long ago. Literally describes one, taking him up, and him literally in the book, he literally explains what he saw when he was up there. Yep. And he's basically explaining being in a ship above the earth, looking down on earth in this book. And it was taken out about why. If you guys believe all that other stuff, this stuff is like firsthand account of like all kinds of crazy crap. And why would you take that out? Oh, because it challenges the belief system. It challenges, your narrative.
Yeah.
Changes the narrative.
For sure. Very much changes the narrative. And that's kind of what we're seeing here in even today. Like, there's multiple people that are trying to take advantage of that. And I don't think that should be the case. What do they get out of it?
Right.
Exactly. At the end of the day, as Robert Alton Harris once said, you can either be a king or a street sweeper. You will always dance with the Grim Reaper.
Was it the Grim Reaper or Reaper?
Yes. The Grim Reaper. Okay. And I always lived by that saying because, like, even though he was a bad guy, that saying means that, like, yeah, it doesn't matter who you are to another person, you're eventually gonna pass away. You're gonna meet your end.
Well, you can't take it all with you.
Exactly.
And I'd say before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from all of you. I know there's one person watching now. Hi, what's up? Thank you for watching. But people watching later on, whatever want to watch, comment. Let me know if you've ever experienced deja vu. Let us know.
Yes, and your experience. Tell us your story.
Yeah, tell us your story if you want. I mean, you can send us a message if you want, private message if you don't want everybody to know about it. That's fine too. And drop a like. Go over to YouTube. We couldn't stream it tonight, but we have a new YouTube channel. And it's at Dark Minds.
Yeah, it's Dark Minds Pod. Yes.
Yeah, Dark Minds Pod. Go click it up. Go like it. Go follow it. Hit us up.
I'll leave a link down in the description too after this live ends, so people can find that. So
yeah, we'll drop a couple
all other links.
Yeah, you go to our Facebook page. Also, we have links down in the description. You can check it out and jump right on there and subscribe and see all the crazy stuff that we like to talk about and do every week. It's something different. And we also like to hear from you. Like, if you have a topic that you're like, hey, guys, check this out. This is a good one to talk about. And we'll dive down that rabbit hole. There's no rabbit hole we won't jump in.
And I know, Adam, that you're busy, but I wanted to propose this too because he brought it up. Would you be down to be doing like a video game for an episode or something?
Just I'd be down. I was actually just talking with Tori about. I just got a new thing for our TV, so you can. It's just like a smart TV or whatever.
Okay.
So I can take my Xbox and go plug it into this monitor behind me, and throw my camera on it and go. So it's up to you guys what you guys want to play.
I was honestly thinking about keeping it in the spooky side, the paranormal. I've already played this game like multiple times. I'm not very good at it though. It's called Phasmophobia. It's kind of like what we do in real life, but in video game form as far as the paranormal goes.
Different.
Yeah.
Maybe we could throw that
Like,
around.
yeah.
Check that
Also,
out.
there's another thing that we could do because I just love it, and I haven't played it in forever, but I'm sure I could figure out a way to get it. But I don't know if you guys play Call of Duty at all. I love the zombie mode.
Oh yeah, that's the only thing I liked about Black Ops.
That's what's so fun about it. So we could throw down on some
We
zombie and
could-
all go.
Hey,
through.
hey, we could.
We just fucking do that.
Hey, we can even have people ask us questions, personal questions for us to get you guys to know us better.
Yeah,
Right?
Just
Yeah, I mean, you want to.
try
Hey.
something. If it works out, then it works out. But if it
Yeah.
doesn't, at least we
And-
can say we tried.
And if I remember correctly, in zombies, you can have like so many teammates and stuff. So if anybody like is out there, it's like, hey, I love zombie mode too. I could jam out with you guys. Hey, let us
Yeah.
know. We'll set it up. We'll play. Maybe we can have like special guests, like fan hang out and play
Yeah.
a game out with us. That would be fun
Hell yeah.
because
I think-
we're like we don't change who we are on here. This is who we are. This is just
No.
swear to God, straight up.
so like what you see is what you get. Whether or not you like what you see, don't really care. But come join us and have some fun. Shoot
And
shit.
if we like our stupid faces, then more power to you.
we
Thank
know
you.
who we
Yeah.
are, whether you like us or not. That's
Exactly.
up to you. But
Join us and have a good time. Get involved. Let us know what you think, what you want us to do more of, what you want us to do less of. I mean, nice criticism is fine. I don't have a problem with that. Positive criticism, but go negative, and you probably wish you won't because I like to tear into people. So don't do it.
I think we
Um,
both do, but
I think, well,
Mm,
All of us
I'm with
do.
you on that. So
All of
yeah,
us
let's
do.
yeah.
whenever it's deserved, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, only deserved. I don't attack. I finish. That's it. That's all I do. All I do is win, no matter what.
But we'll keep it on a positive note. We appreciate everyone that checks us out and watches us because like it means the world to us. The hate, well, we don't care what happens to them, but people that do support us and everything else, we love.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining us on Dark Side of Our Haunted Minds. Remember, tune in. We've been doing this on Thursdays, right around 8:30. We need to get a little bit better at time, but we get to talking beforehand and we're like, oh, shnikes, we need to
Yeah,
get
then
going.
we just kind of look and then
But
we're like, ooh,
Yeah.
we need to start.
But until next time, keep your eyes open and your mind curious. You never know when you might get a glimpse of what's yet to come. And on that note, I'm saying peace out. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you next time.